Epiphany of Truth TV.
Hello and welcome to Epiphany of Truth TV. Today we're going to talk about the nature of Satan, or in Greek, Satanas, in Hebrew, Satan. If I were to ask you, who rules heaven, who would you answer? God, right? If I were to ask you who rules hell, who would you answer? Satan, right? Well, that would be wrong. God rules heaven and God rules hell. Hell is a prison. Hades, or hell, is a place that's a final destination for Satan. Revelation 20:10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Unfortunately, people have changed Satan to be more of a opposing deity to the Father. In specific, we see all sorts of memes and we see all sorts of things today that show Jesus and Satan as competing against each other. Two opposing gods, the God of light and good and the God of evil, fire, and darkness. But that's never a greater lie told. Satan is not the God of anything. He's an angel. We're going to get into that today. The first thing I want to address is what Satan does. Now, as we see from 1 John 3:8, he that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. So as we see here, Satan sinned from the beginning. He is the father of sin because of that, because he did it before. Not because he's the God of sin, but because he did it before. And now we have John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Once again, he is the father of lies because he did it first. Not because he is the God of lies, but because he did it first. He was the first person to be disobedient, or the first angel to be disobedient. So the question is, why was he disobedient? In Ezekiel 28:17 we find, Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground, I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. So as we see in Ezekiel 28, it was because of his beauty that he was corrupted. Satan's heart had become full of pride. He had become a self-deceiver. He had fooled himself into believing that he was something greater than he was. This is the first and the foremost problem that people have. Pride comes before the fall. Well, that is Satan's problem. Satan was beautiful. He was smart. He was powerful. And this pride got to his head. Satan began to believe that he could be like the Most High. And this is his ultimate goal, is to be like the Most High. Throughout the Bible, we see all sorts of references where he is trying to put himself in the same place, the same respected status. Satan's ultimate goal is to get either as close or at the same level as the Father. And now let's get into what Satan is. He's an angel. But what are angels? Well, the word angel translates into messenger. There's also two other words for his style of angel, one of cherubim and one of seraphim. In Numbers 21:6-9 we find, And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord, that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it on a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he behold the serpent of brass, he lived. So, here we have a classic example of a fiery serpent. But what is a fiery serpent? It is a seraphim. The word seraph means flame or to burn. In most Strong's dictionaries, it is directly translated as burn. The word seraphim is often attributed to fiery serpent, although it could be a being of flame. In Psalm 104:4, we find, Who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. We find the same reference in Ezekiel 1:13. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and their appearance was of lamps. And it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. But this definition, or example of fire, or a being of flame, does not extend just to the angels. In Hebrews 12:28-29, we find, Wherefore we, receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace, whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our God is a consuming fire. Angels and God are often described in the Bible as a being of flame, or at least having to do with flame. This we see in Revelation as well. When we pull up Revelation 1:14 in the interlinear, the head of him and the hairs are white, as if wool, white as snow, and the eyes of him are like a flame of fire. So here we have a description of Jesus with white head, a white hair, and eyes that glow as if a flame of fire. Some people will pull up wool as consistency, but it says that the head and hairs are white as wool, as white as snow. Now when we get to Revelation 1:15, it says, "And the feet of him are like fine bronze, as if in a furnace, having been refined." Now you'll notice this word right here, and I have no idea how to say it. I say it's pepperminis. This brings us to Strong's Greek Concordance 4448. The word is puru. The definition is to set on fire, to burn. The usage is to set on fire, to be inflamed, to glow with heat, impurified by fire. This does not mean dark skin. It does not mean that his skin was bronze as far as the color. It does not mean that it was shiny as far as the reflection. This is referring to his feet glowing with heat. As you see here, definition is to glow with heat. Brass and bronze glows a bluish white, which fits to his head and hairs. It means to glow as if being refined in a furnace. Now the reason I've brought all this up is because the general tendency is to view Jesus or God as a glowing white being, and then to view Satan as a big giant muscular being with horns who is red and who is the god of fire and darkness, I guess, even though fire puts out light, but that's another story. Now, as I've gone over before in my previous video, the word Lucifer is not Satan's name. It is a word that means illuminated one, or light bearer, or morning star. That's all it is. It's not a name. It's the Latin word for those. This fits perfectly when you know that seraphim means flame or to burn. They are a being of light. So the idea that Satan is a big giant god of fire is very false. All angels are a being of light and a being of fire. God himself is described as a being of light and a being of fire. Satan is also kind of mixed with other religions, in particular old Germanic folklore and mythology. You'll see various pictures of him with goat legs and horns, which is a satyr. You'll also see various types of fawns. This is the result of mixing Christianity with old Germanic mythology. We are also told that Satan is the god of this world. In 2 Corinthians 4:4 we find, "In whom the god of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them." This is actually a fairly bad translation. The actual word that is used for world is not cosmos, which is world. It is aeon, or eon, which means an age. Now, when we pull up the interlinear for 2 Corinthians 4:4, we find that it says, "In whom the god of this age." The word here, aeonos. This brings us to Strong's Greek 165. The transliteration is aeon, or eon, a space of time or an age. The usage is an age, a cycle of time, especially the present age, as contrasted with a future age. So as you see, Satan is not the god of this world. Satan is the god of that era, that eon, that age. So, at that time, who was the god of that age? If we look at Revelation 2:12 and 13, we find, "And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith. Even in those days where Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth." So the question is, where is the seat of Satan? As we see, it's in the church of Pergamos. And what happens to be at the church of Pergamos? Why, the Pergamon temple. And what is the Pergamon temple? It is the altar of Zeus. That's right. The seat of Satan is the throne of Zeus. Therefore we know that the god of that age is Zeus. Now I'm not saying Satan is Zeus. I'm saying Zeus is Satan. But Satan has many faces. He was also the king of Babylon. Satan also transforms himself into an angel of light. It is for that reason that we find Revelation 20:20 stating this, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." Here we have all of the names and titles that are given to Satan, outside of actual names like Zeus and the king of Babylon. We can also see here that Satan isn't an opposing god. Satan is just a disobedient angel. And in here we can understand the references to the seed of Satan. You see, the seed of Jesus are those who worship him, part of the body of Christ. But what is the seed of Satan? Well, in 1 John chapter 4, verses 2 and 3 we find, "Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist. Wherefore ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in this world. So as you see, the seed of Satan is the spirit of the Antichrist. The reason Satan is the father of lies, the father of murder, is because he did it first. He is the first to be disobedient. Satan is not an opposing God, but Satan is a perfect example on what we should not be doing as Christians. So the next time you think that Satan is the ruler of hell with demons at his disposal running things down there, just remember, hell is a prison. Though Satan might be the god of this era, he is not the god of this world. God has dominion over everywhere. God is the God of everything, and he is the only God. Let's fight against this modern trend of deifying Satan, and instead give glory to God. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video. God bless. Thank you.